My name is Idha Kristiana. I will share about challenges faced and analytic techniques used for customer solution in the banking industry, a systematic review. This is final project of research methodology, and our lecturer are Bapak Dr. Arief Ramadhan S.Com M.Si, Bapak Agung Trisetyarso S.Si, M.Sc, Ph.D, Bapak Profesor Dr. Insinyur Edi Abdurachman M.S, M.Sc, Bapak Profesor Dr. Muhammad Zarlis M.Sc. And our outline today, I will share about introduction, methodology, result, discussion, and conclusion. I will open with one question. What do you prefer when you go on trip? Some of us, we search for flight ticket or Airbnb or hotel ticket, and we search for maybe rent car or public transportation. We check for recommendation place or food. We check the weather, visa or passport, and we check about the route. Maybe we have planned for road trip, and then we prepare for the currency, etc. We need the data, we need the information because we want to making our trip enjoyable, increase the benefit and minimize cost and problem. We need the data, and we live on data age. We live on data age. Data is growing every day, every minute, and every seconds. From the source data never sleep 10.0, data growing significantly from 2013 to 2022. From Google, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email user data growing significantly. And data is asset. Data is asset. From the data, we can do many things. Yeah, we can generate insight from the data, because from the data we can get the information we get the knowledge, from the knowledge wisdom, and it will help the organization for decision making. And then from the IDC, the global data sphere will grow from 33 centibyte in 2018 to 175 centibyte by 2025. This is IDC predict, yeah, predict. Uh, and this is the result of IT devices expected to create over 90 centibyte of data in 2025. Because what? Because of connectivity. Things talk to things. Because things talk to things. Everything is connected. We can just only download and plug in application on my mobile application and connect it. This is the impact of the connectivity. From the data, we can understand about our customer. We can, if we are talking about the customer behavior, we can answer some question about the what are the product people buy, why they buy them, how they buy them, when they buy them, what they buy them, how often they buy them, how is the decision process of the consumer. This is part of the consumer behavior data. We can answer many questions from the data. So data is powerful. Data can tell an organization how its current operation are performing and help it estimate and strategize about how future operate might perform and better decision making. Absolutely. Talking about the bank, bank, bank ecosystem is very big, yeah. Uh, because many people use bank, maybe they want lending, transaction, trading, investment, payment, for the social, for ticketing, retail, and everything. Customer ecosystem, partners in ecosystem, bank is the central of everything, because everything, every transaction, service and product using money, which is we need bank to do it. Yeah, and bank very challenging how they manage the data, and then how they use their data to build insight to help them to create value from the data. That's why I have two research questions using SLR. Yeah, using SLR by Kitchenham. The process is review method, research question, search strategy, study selection, data extraction, and data synthesis. For the research question, first research question, what are the challenges to optimize data-driven business by enabling technology in the banking industry? Because many people talking about transformasi digital. Sometimes many people, when they are talking about the transformasi digital, they implement the technology enabling. Is it just enough to enabling the technology? I think no, because if we invest my experience, because I am practitioner in the industry, uh, when we invest technology, and then yeah, just let it be, nothing happen. I think there is something that I have to figure out how to convert, how to convert the technology to optimize data driven, because we are talking about the set of technology to run the data driven. So my research question, first research question, what are the challenges to optimize the data driven business by enabling technology in the banking industry? And the second, what are analytic business case in the banking industry to create business value? Once the technology is set up properly, and then we run the business case on top of the technology. So from the business case, we can get the impact to our organization to create business value. If we are talking about the business value, we are talking about how to increase our revenue, how to reduce costs, and then how to optimize process or simplifying the process. That's all talking about the business value. That's the key point that I needed to figure out through the literature review, because it will be our foundation for the novelty that I want to get from this research. And then for the search strategy, the list of digital databases, Sciendirect, Scopus, SM Digital, IEEE Express, and Springer. For the search criteria, I use Advanced Analytic, Data-Driven, Challenge, and Bank. For the study selection, only work published in 2018 or later will be considered. Research paper only. When there are multiple publications on the same study, only most recent and comprehensive will be included. For the exclusion criteria, result not written in English. And then the last one is data extraction and synthesis. And from the SLR process, I got the 31 papers. And then this is the result. The result is the table one. The result is technology enabled to driven business challenge. So to convert the technology enabler, after we set up the technology and then how to convert it data driven, we have to uh, be careful with all the challenge, and so we can set up the technology properly. We have the five. I found the five: the data characteristic, data processing, data governance, data knowledge, and data technology and architecture. Data characteristic: 80% data in the world is unstructured. Data in the banking for the main data in the banking, we unstructured for example data call center, and then data QIC using video, audio, and many things, yeah. And then how to manage the data characteristic with structured and semi-structured data. And data processing. Data processing talk about not just ETL, how to extract, transform the data, move data from one storage to the storage to another storage. It's not just like that, not just that extraction, collection, cleansing, aggregation, and integration, but how to insight generation from the data, how to interpretation the data. That's very challenging because it needs high level skill of the data understanding or data knowledge. Yeah. And then about the data governance. Data governance is a fundamental of the data. Everything needs the governance. Governance, talking about the privacy, security, governance, policy, and regulations. If we are talking about the characteristics, data characteristics, how we handling the quality of the data, we data governance, how to process the data, how to interpret it in such generation. We need the governance. So the data governance is fundamental. That's why I will discuss it later deeply about the data governance. And then about the data knowledge. Data knowledge is very challenging because the lack of data-driven culture, the lack of data literacy, uh, it's impact of the lack of data knowledge in the organization. Uh, Talking about the technical skill, managerial skill, data knowledge, and then about data technology architecture, about the how architecture built to get to make the data driven possible. That's why we need to ask governance about the architecture data. Yeah, this is a challenge identified from the technology enabled to data driven business challenge. And then analytic business case. After data, we identify the challenge and the technology set up properly, we build the business on top of it. Analytic business case identified, commonly implemented is segmentation, profiling, recommendation system, cross-selling, upselling, acquisition, customer acquisition and attrition prediction, credit scoring, credit default, and financial fraud prediction. I will discuss. If you're talking about the data governance, it's very fundamental. Data stewardship focus on ensuring that the high-level policies for preserving data against loss, corruption, theft, or misuse are really followed. Data governance developed this regulation. The group of procedure known the stewardship make ensuring that organizations' data is reliable, safe, unstable, and accessible. In order to promote data quality and integrity, it entails monitoring every stage of data lifecycle, including creating, preparing, using, storing, archiving, or deleting. So this is will be the fundamental. Why? Because in this literature review, the novelty is about the new journey for customer solutions. The basic is analytic as a product. To build the analytic as a product, we need the data. The data must be high quality of the data and integrate. This is business cases identified by literature review. Customer profiling characterize the customer based on demographic, behavior, geography, and interests are include. Customer segmentation include the splitting existing customer into segments so that the bank can acquire the better understanding of the customer. And then about the customer acquisition and retentions are crucial to the bank success because banks are willing to invest extensively in customer acquisition through the channel of advertising. So they will even create innovation for the retention program. And then this is the mapping from the finding. And as a foundation is technology enabler. After we set up the technology enabler properly, we can build the data-driven business on top of that, and then we run the business cases, and then from the business case we can get the impact. This is the commonly as the fundamental. Why this is the common and as a fundamental business case identified by SLR is needed because this is as a fundamental for the analytic driven business. And I try to run all the business cases through the analytic as a product. Because what? Because currently this is the customer journey. Traditionally, we just acquire the customer and then onboard the customer, activate the customer, and retain and make them grow by the program, and all we did it by the system maybe or by the human, telemarketing, RM, something like that. It's very traditional purpose, but very traditional approach. And then I try to create the new one. This is the analytic as a product for customer solution journey. So I put explore, understand, active, engage. So after we build the technology, and then on top of that we build the data driven and set up business in data driven business. From there I built the analytic as a product. So when I log to my system in bank, absolutely in bank, my account, I can explore. The system already understand who I am, and explore my behavior. Me understand about my preference, not just system, me understand, because the system provide me about a personalized and recommendation, and they offer me about the cross-sell of upsell. So I addict to engage every day, every time with the digital product with bank. That's why. So this is how analytic as a product run for the customer solution journey. This is the novelty in this recommendation or research. On the limitation, and the keyword utilized are extremely general, particularly advanced analytic, data-driven, challenge, and banks. It will be beneficial to provide database and keyword variants. Recommendation for future study, the finding of the literature review can then be used to develop a suitable framework for applying analytic as a product in the banking industry. Conclusion: the exponential growth of data is compelling organizations to incorporate data into their decision-making process. The literature review revealed a number of challenges that influence the transformation of banking organization from technology enabler to data-driven business. And then the most frequently implemented business cases in banking are identified. The novelty in the transforming of data-driven organization into an analytic-driven business by implementing explore, understand, action, engage for customer journey, and utilize analytic as a product for customer solution. Analytic as a product for customer solution provide customer with comprehensive view of the activity and control over their money management and improve customer engagement by providing a recommendation. Thank you.